Hi guys, and welcome back to the series of vlogs where we focus on sound design. Now, today we're focusing on what I consider to be the magnum opus of sound design, and that's 1998's Saving Private Ryan. It's a masterpiece of a film directed by the acclaimed director Steven Spielberg. Actually won 5 Academy Awards. Now, if we look at this intro scene where they are on the landing craft, you'll notice that the sound design is actually very minimal. There's dialogue, there's Foley, where the canteens that the men are holding are being handled and hitting things. The craft is going through the waves, the men are thrown up. And what this does, without a score, it places you firmly in the craft with the men.
Got me with you. North side stick, starboard side stick. Move fast and clear those murder holes. Want to see plenty of beat between men.
Then, this bit right here, you'll notice that you'll start to hear explosions, gunfire, shells, but it's distant.
I'll see you on the beach.
Instead of using a visual cue to suggest that the craft is getting closer to the beach, it's using audio cues. They'll start to get louder and louder, but then it goes back into a brief moment of silence. So it uses silence beautifully to capture the emotion. The tension is built here. The whistle indicates that the men are going to storm the beach. And then this is where the scene really kicks in. Now, what they actually did here was record live sounds, live gunfire. Instead of using blanks, which use less gunpowder, they used real rounds. Obviously not in the scene itself, otherwise it would kill the actors. But they recorded it at a shooting range in Georgia in America, just to add a bit of realism. So then, when the men go overboard, the camera actually follows their perspective. And the sounds reflect that. Notice how we're underwater here, the sounds become muted. You can still hear the gunfire coming through the water, zipping through. But you feel like you're underwater with them. The gunfire coming through the water really indicates that it doesn't matter if you're on the craft, if you're in the water, on the beach. There's really no hiding from the German fire. So then the camera bobs up and down in the water with the actors. It's a great scene here, actually. Then we cut to the beach, and there's bullets ricocheting off the metal objects that litter the beach. Really great use of sound design as the bullets zip from right to left. Then, if we look at Tom Hanks's character, he gets sudden shell shock. So what happens, it's very similar to what happened with the water, in that it becomes very muted and dull. And in being muted and dull, it almost adds a tranquility to the scene. There's this horrific, visceral violence going on around him. There's men on fire, there's amputees having limbs blown off. And yet, here he is in this little bubble, whilst he watches men around him die and be maimed. And in a sense, what that offers is almost a juxtaposition, because you've got this horrible, horrible scene unfolding before him, and yet this lack of almost any sound. It's a great, great tension builder, and it really highlights the horrors of war, actually. So, I would say to you, sound designers, if you're just getting into it, go and watch this film. Go and watch Saving Private Ryan. It is a masterpiece of sound design. It really has set the bar for the last 21 years. I know I'm dating the video there, but every film should aspire to be as good as this. Go and watch it. Thank you very much for watching. See you next time.